Once you get into van life, you'd better get used to visiting garages. I bought my pristine, restored Vanagon Westfalia Syncro last October. When I took it into Bernard van der Ploeg's workshop near Amsterdam for some upgrades and to fix a running issue, I was in for a big surprise. Things didn't start too well when Bernard sent me this little clip showing the completely worn out boots of the fuel injectors. From the other shots he took on his first inspection, it was clear that despite all the bills the previous owner produced, the van hadn't seen any serious maintenance for a long time, and that many repairs had been botched. I obviously needed to go back to Bernard's workshop near Amsterdam Airport to discuss the bad news. Bernard will take you through it in his own words.
First we had a thorough inspection. We found some corrosion above the fuel tank. So we took away all the rust and we used special stuff to prevent it from rusting. RX5, RX10, and after that rubber protecting coating. We made new brake lines because they're above the gearbox and the fuel tank, and it's really hard to replace them when the engine and the gearbox is in the car. We changed the rubber seals of the injectors because they had a lot of wear in them and then you get a bad running engine. Changed all the fuel lines here and all the rubber seals. Putting a new clutch on it because also had wearing on it. The exhaust was not good anymore, and we chose a stainless steel exhaust from Remus. Really nice system. Fits really well and looks really nice, and it will last for a long time. Also we changed this hose because that was a homemade hose that was not correctly done. This will fit on your standard exhaust, so you can also choose to get this in stainless, but this was a good exhaust, so we chose to leave it on. Assembling all the parts, and if we have everything, then we can connect the gearbox to the engine, put the fuel tank into the car. We put a PTO on it.
Yeah, so this is where the job originally started. Only the decoupler.
Decoupler, yeah.
But Bernard managed to find some other things
that are important for a good driving. We also changed the rear brakes, the back plates, and everything, and the bearings, because yeah, it was so worn at the front. The lower ball bearings were not okay. We also do the upper ball bearings. The brake lines are not in a good shape, so we are changing that as well. Here we have a wheel hub. We cleaned it and sprayed it. You only have to change the wheel bearing, change the protection plate for the brakes. Here are the ball bearings, new ones, good quality.
After one more week of waiting for parts and reassembly, it was time for the marriage, which is when the engine and transmission are mounted back to the car again. And another few days later, the engine was up and running again. So I guess you can imagine how happy I was to come and pick up the Syncro the day before Christmas. Thinking about all my experiences over the years with workshops, I came up with these 5 golden repair rules. So, golden rule number 1. Find a specialist and stick with them. Not only for the difficult work, but also for simple things like tire changes or new batteries. Whenever they change any of these parts for you, but may find problems that would otherwise remain hidden and which your local quick fit guy is not going to find. Golden rule number 2. Choose your timing. Springtime and summertime are not the best times to go and plan complicated repairs with your chosen Vanagon specialist. This is going to be the time of year when every workshop in the country is going to be extremely busy, and your workshop is not going to be able to spend the time on your car that it deserves. Also, make sure that once you bring the car in for servicing or for repairs, you allow plenty of time. With these old vehicles, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Bolts will break off, the workshop may need difficult to find parts, and all this takes a lot of time. Rule number 3. Allow for a shakedown period after you pick up the car. Don't leave immediately on that long road trip. Allow maybe 500 miles of driving in your home country close to the garage. When you fix one thing, other things may start to break as a result. Don't blame the garage for this. It is normal that when you change one part and your engine gets more power than it had before, things in the gearbox may start to break. There may even be some oversights on behalf of the garage itself. Don't get mad with them, take the car back, get them to fix it, but don't take a recently fixed car out on a long road trip. That's just asking for trouble. Golden rule number 4. Take your specialist's word for it. When they say a part is bad, then trust them, it probably is. They're not trying to upsell you, they're not trying to rip you off, they're just trying to avoid having to do the same job twice. And finally, golden rule number 5, be prepared to spend. Now, I know this is not going to be the most popular of my rules, but if you want to keep your Vanagon, or any other old car for that matter, on the road, I think it's worth it to spend money on preventative maintenance. Unless you do your own work, hiring a specialist to do that work for you is going to cost money. Any money you spend on preventative maintenance, I think, is well worth it, because it will save you those embarrassing moments by the side of the road. Happy camping with no breakdowns.